Hi everyone, today we will be discussing about metamorphic grade and facies. So first of all, an introduction about metamorphism. So the word metamorphism was come from the Greek word meta means change and morph means form. So in geology, this refers to the changes in mineralogic assemblage and the texture that results from subjecting a rock to conditions such as pressure, temperature and the chemical environments, which is different from those under which the rock was originally formed. Suppose we will take an example about a rock which is formed under 250 degrees Celsius and 1 kilobar pressure. So when we are applying a temperature or a pressure which is different from this 250 and 1 kilobar pressure, what happens is that this rock, the minerals present in this rock becomes unstable, and there is a possibility that the mineralogy and the texture of this rock will change, and that change in the mineralogy and the texture of this rock under the influence of change in temperature and the pressure which is typically different from those of this particular rock formation is known as metamorphism. Now we directly move to our topic, that is the grades of metamorphism. What is this metamorphic grade means? Metamorphic grade can be defined as it indicates the degree or the intensity of the metamorphism that a rock has been affected, which means that the pressure and the temperature conditions under which that metamorphic rock was formed, and that degree and intensity of metamorphism is termed as the grades of metamorphism. We have different types of grades are there based on the intensity of temperature and the pressure. Different types of grades are there. Tilly has classified the metamorphic grades into 4 types. We have very low grade, low grade, medium grade and high grade. This classification is typically based on the temperature and the pressure conditions under which the metamorphism is happening. So we look at each one, what are the different minerals that is present in each grade of metamorphism, which are the temperature conditions that is present in each grade of metamorphism. So first of all, the very low grade of metamorphism. This very low grade of metamorphism defines that it starts the beginning of metamorphism. It indicates the beginning of metamorphism, and it is usually taking place at a temperature below 200 degrees Celsius. So the typical mineral that is forming, or we can identify that the rock has undergone very low grade metamorphism, is the presence of the mineral known as zoisite. So in the metamorphic rock, if we find the presence of zoisite in that, we can typically say that that metamorphic rock underwent very low grade of metamorphism. Next, we will move to low grade metamorphism. Now here the low grade of metamorphism, which is slightly higher than the temperature, will be slightly higher than the very low grade of metamorphism, which means the temperature is in between 200 degrees Celsius to 400 degrees Celsius, and when a metamorphic rock underwent this low grade of metamorphism, the important mineral present in the rock is hydrous minerals, because within this low grade of metamorphism and a very low grade of metamorphism, hydrous minerals are always present in the metamorphic rock, and if hydrous minerals are present in the metamorphic rock, that's an indication that the rock has undergone either very low grade of metamorphism or they have underwent low grade of metamorphism. So the low grade of metamorphism here, the typical mineral is the hydrous minerals. So when the grade of metamorphism increases, what happens is that the hydrous mineral becomes anhydrous minerals. They will be transformed. They will undergo breakdown. So here hydrous minerals are the important indicator of low grade of metamorphism. Now we will discuss about the medium grade of metamorphism. this medium grade of metamorphism, here the temperature limit is in between 400 degrees Celsius to 650 degrees Celsius, and the important diagnostic mineral that is that helps us to identify the grade of metamorphism here is staurolite and cordierite. So if we are having in a metamorphic rock, if we are having the presence of these two minerals, we can directly say that the rock underwent medium grade of metamorphism. And the medium grade of metamorphism, it marks the higher temperature boundary of the lower grade metamorphic division against the medium grade of metamorphic divisions. So this is all about the medium grade of metamorphism. Now we will move to the high grade of metamorphism. Now the high grade of metamorphism generally take place at a greater depth, whereas the term says it is higher grade, which means high pressure and the high temperature is acting on it, and the high amount of this temperature supplied, either this metamorphism can take place at a greater depth, or this can also act whether in a country rock, if there is an intrusion that is happening and the temperature of this intrusion is so much high, then that rock can also undergo high grade metamorphism. So two possibilities are there: either this metamorphism can take place at a greater depth, or if there is some intrusion that is happening in the country rock at having high temperature, high pressure, this grade of metamorphism can also take place. Now the high grade metamorphism starts with a temperature ranging from 550 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is all about 3.5 kilobar, and it can go on up to 800 degrees Celsius and more. It can go up beyond 800 degrees Celsius. An important example of this high grade metamorphism is that the breakdown of muscovite and the formation of quartz and plagioclase is one of the typical mineral reaction that indicates the high grade metamorphism. As we have discussed earlier, the hydrous minerals will not present when the grade of metamorphism increases. So here the hydrous mineral like muscovite will break down to form quartz plus plagioclase when the grade of metamorphism increases. So that's all about the grades of metamorphism. Now we will discuss another important topic, that is index minerals. Now index minerals, how can be defined an index mineral? We have seen what is these index minerals are. Index minerals are those minerals which indicates a particular grade of metamorphism. As we have discussed earlier, we indicate zoisite as a very low grade metamorphic mineral. We have seen low grade metamorphism is indicated by hydrous minerals. So like that, each grade of metamorphism is indicated by a particular mineral, and that mineral is known as the index mineral. So by studying the index mineral, we can directly infer the pressure temperature condition under which the particular metamorphic rock has been formed. Now based on the index mineral, we can based on the index mineral we can identify the pressure temperature condition. Now we will see some of the important index mineral that is formed when an argillaceous rock like shale undergoes metamorphism. Okay, so when during the higher grade of metamorphism, so the important minerals will be chlorite, which will be turning into biotite. Biotite will be, when the grade increases, biotite will turn to garnet. Garnet, when the metamorphism increases, it becomes staurolite. As the grade again increases, it becomes kyanite, then ends with the sillimanite. So when the grade of metamorphism increases in an argillaceous rock, these are the important index mineral that is forming, starting with the chlorite, biotite, garnet, staurolite and sillimanite. So these minerals indicates the grade of metamorphism. Now based on these minerals, we can classify the grade of minerals into different zones. First, if we draw a figure like this, Now here this is a zone where chlorite is present. So that zone is known as chlorite zone. And when it comes to here, the important index mineral is biotite. So that zone is known as biotite zone. Here we have garnet is present, that zone is known as garnet zone. Where staurolite is present, that is staurolite zone. We have kyanite and sillimanite zone. As we look here, each zone is separated by a line, and that line always represents the formation of the next higher grade of minerals. For example, if you are moving from chlorite zone and it touches this line which starts with the biotite zone, the mineral which is forming in this line will not be chlorite, it will be biotite. So this line is known as isograd. So isograds are those lines that will separate the mineral zones, the grade mineral zones. That line is known as isograds. It represents the first mineral which is present in that particular zone. So we have different zones based upon the index mineral which is present in that typical metamorphic rock. Now we will discuss the second half of our topic, that is metamorphic facies. So what is this metamorphic facies? First of all, the concept of the metamorphic facies was introduced by Escola in 1915, and a metamorphic facies can be defined as a set of metamorphic mineral assemblages that were formed under similar pressure and temperature conditions, which means that under certain conditions of temperature and pressure condition, a group of minerals will be formed out. So when the temperature and pressure changes from that condition to another temperature and pressure condition, so another set of group of minerals will be formed, and this typical assemblages is generally termed as metamorphic facies. In the earlier times, as I mentioned earlier, Escola was the one who proposed the term metamorphic facies, and in 1920 Escola started proposing originally 5 metamorphic facies, and they are: the first one is green schist facies, amphibolite facies, Hornfels facies, sanidinite facies, and eclogite facies. And these are the 5 facies which Escola originally proposed. Then later in 1939, Escola added granulite facies, epidot amphibolite facies, blue schist facies, which is also known as glaucophyne facies, and he renamed the Hornfels facies to pyroxene Hornfels facies. Then next scientist Coombs, who added 2 other facies to that is zeolite facies and prehinite pumpelite facies. Then again this metamorphic facies has underwent changes. Then Fife, who added 2 other facies to it, that is albite epidot Hornfels facies and hornblende Hornfels facies. So these are the important type of metamorphic facies. Now for the classification, even though we are having these so much facies which are proposed by the scientists Escola, Coombs and Fife, for the classification we can divide the metamorphic facies into 2 types, that is the facies associated with the contact metamorphism and the facies associated with the regional metamorphism. First we look into the facies associated with the contact metamorphism, and the first type of facies associated with the contact metamorphism is albite epidot Hornfels facies. The next one is hornblende Hornfels facies, then is pyroxene Hornfels facies, and the next one is, and the last one is sanidinite facies. So these are the important 4 type of facies that are generally associated with the contact metamorphism. Now we will discuss each one by one. First we will go through the albite epidot Hornfels facies. So here in the albite epidot Hornfels facies, this typically represents the low temperature and the low pressure condition of metamorphism, and the typical mineralogical assemblages that will be shown when a rock undergoes albite epidot Hornfels facies is that in a pelitic rock it is indicated by the minerals like quartz, albite, muscovite and biotite indicates this metamorphism, and if it is in a basic rock the group of albite, epidot, chlorite, quartz indicates albite epidot Hornfels facies metamorphism. Then if it is in a calcareous rock The minerals include calcite, quartz and talc, which indicates albite epidote Hornfels species. So, this is the characteristic features of this albite epidote Hornfels species: low pressure and relatively low temperature. So, the next important type of facies is hornblende Hornfels species. Now, here the hornblende Hornfels species is a facies with a low pressure but slightly higher temperature on the albite epidote. As the albite epidote facies, it is also having low pressure and a higher temperature. Now, if a pellitic rock undergoes this hornblende Hornfels species, the mineral assemblage will be different from that of the albite epidote Hornfels species, which means that here the quartz, muscovite and biotite will be present. And when a calcareous rock undergoes hornblende Hornfels species metamorphism, the mineral assemblage is diopside, grossularite, plagioclase and quartz. So, these are assemblages when a rock undergoes hornblende Hornfels contact metamorphism. Next is pyroxene Hornfels species. Now, the pyroxene Hornfels species is the contact metamorphic facies with high temperature. So, the first appearance of orthopyroxene in a basic rock marks the beginning of this pyroxene Hornfels species. That is an diagnostic mineral, that is the orthopyroxene. In most of the contact aureoles, the pyroxene Hornfels species is always present in the innermost zone. And the important typical mineral assemblages in a pellitic rock is quartz. We have andalusite, cordierite and potash feldspar indicates the pyroxene Hornfels species of metamorphism. Now, the last one and the higher temperature facies of contact metamorphism is the cyanidinite facies. Cyanidinite facies represents extremely high temperature and low pressure of metamorphism, and during this metamorphism, since it is having extremely high temperature, sometimes the partial fusion will take place, and the metamorphic rock which is having this type of facies of metamorphism contains the presence of glass in it. Now, another typical property about this facies of metamorphism is that the metamorphic rock does not contain any hydrous mineral like biotite, because all the mineral present will be only anhydrous minerals will only present during cyanidinite facies of metamorphism. The typical mineral which indicates the cyanidinite facies of metamorphism are cyanidin, tridymite, sillimanite, corundum, etc. So, these are the typical minerals that is associated with the facies of contact metamorphism. Now, we will see the diagram which indicates a generalized metamorphic facies diagram, which is proposed by Yardley in 1998, which indicates the facies of contact metamorphism as well as the facies of regional metamorphism. As you can see it in this lower part, where the temperature is almost about 150 degrees Celsius and the pressure is almost getting to 1 kilobar, there is a diagenesis process. Then after the diagenesis process, the whole contact metamorphic facies are entered within a pressure range in between 2 kilobars. So, as you can see it in this figure, the first contact metamorphic facies represent, that is albite epidote hornblende facies, then the hornblende Hornfels facies, pyroxene Hornfels facies and the cyanidinite facies. All these are represented below the pressure condition of 2 kilobar, which means all the contact metamorphic facies are having low pressure condition, but the temperature is increasing. As you can see, the cyanidinite facies is the one which is at the extreme right hand side. Now, we will discuss about the facies of regional metamorphism. Now, the important facies that represents the regional metamorphism. First of all, what is this regional metamorphism? Regional metamorphism is a type of metamorphism which is take place on the Earth's surface by the combined effect of hydrothermal fluids, temperature and pressure. Since there is an agent called hydrothermal fluids, due to the movement of these hydrothermal fluids, the metamorphism will extend up to a greater area, hence it is termed as regional metamorphism. And in that regional metamorphism, the typical facies associated are, the first one is zeolite facies, Prahinite pumpylite facies is there, green schist facies, Amphibolite facies, blue schist facies, granulite facies, and the last one, that is eclogite facies. So these are the important facies which is associated with the regional metamorphism. Now we are going to discuss about each one by one. The first one is zeolite facies. Now here the zeolite facies is the one that represent the lowest grade of regional metamorphism, and the typical mineral representing the zeolite facies of metamorphism is zeolite, and the minerals, these minerals are formed generally at a very low temperature and pressure conditions. The temperature for the zeolite facies metamorphism is about 175 degree Celsius, and it is not, the zeolite facies of metamorphism is not being represented by the pellitic sediments. So this is the typical, the lowest grade of metamorphism shown by the zeolite facies. The next we will go to the prehnite pumpellite facies. Now this prehnite pumpellite facies, it typically represents a transition from the zeolite facies to the green schist facies. So the temperature of the prehnite pumpellite facies will be from 250 degrees Celsius to 350 degrees Celsius, and the important, and when a metamorphic rock undergoes this prehnite pumpellite rock, like a mafic rock undergoes prehnite pumpellite facies of metamorphism, the important minerals forming will be chlorite, prehnite, albite, pumpellite, and epidote. And if an ultramafic rock undergoes this facies condition, it will have serpentine, talc, forsterite, tremolite, and chlorite in it. And an argillaceous rock undergoes prehnite pumpellite facies of metamorphism, then the minerals like quartz, albite, chlorite, illite, and stibnolime will be present here. So typically this facies is a transition zone between zeolite and green schist facies. Now we will discuss about the next type of facies, that is green schist facies. Now the green schist facies typically represents low medium pressure and temperature. The green schist facies have always been associated with the orogenic regional metamorphism, and this facies is typically represented by the diagnostic minerals which are typically having green colored, and the typical minerals are chlorite, epidote, and actinolite. So green colored mineral represents the green schist facies. So this facies always indicates low medium pressure and temperature. The next one is amphibolite facies. Now the amphibolite facies represents medium pressure and average high temperature. As the term says, amphibolite facies is characterized by the presence of amphibole minerals, and this facies is characterized by the appearance of garnet and by the elimination of talc. The appearance of garnet and the elimination of talc is an important indicator of this type of facies of metamorphism, and it is a medium grade of metamorphism. And when a pellitic rock undergoes this amphibolite facies metamorphism, the mineral assemblages will be quartz, muscovite, biotite, and microcline. When a basic rock undergoes amphibolite facies metamorphism, it will have quartz, hornblende, calcic plagioclase, and biotite. When a calcareous rock undergoes amphibolite facies metamorphism, it will have calcite, diopside, and grossularite. So this is all about the amphibolite facies metamorphism. Then we will move on to the blue schist facies metamorphism. This blue schist facies metamorphism, which is also known as glaucophane metamorphism, this typical blue facies of metamorphism generally occurring under young orogenic zones, and here it represents low temperature and high pressure condition of metamorphism, and the high pressure is typically formed as a result of tectonism. So the characteristic mineral representing the blue schist facies of metamorphism are glaucophane, lawsonite, jadeite, and aragonite. So occurring under young orogenic zones. Now we are going to discuss about the granulite facies of metamorphism. The granular phases of metamorphism represents the highest grade of metamorphism which is taking place under medium pressure conditions. So, the granular phases metamorphism can be divided into two subphases as hornblende granulate subphases and the pyroxene granulate subphases. So, the granular phases of metamorphism usually take place at a temperature greater than 600 degrees Celsius, and this type of metamorphic phases occurring at a deeper levels as well as in the Archean terrains. The important diagnostic minerals present in this type of phases of metamorphism are plagioclase, hypersthene, garnet and diopside. So, now we will look into the last type of metamorphic phases, that is eclogite phases of metamorphism. Eclogite phases of metamorphism is a type of phases which is taking place under high pressure and high temperature. It will always represent the deep seated conditions. Since it is occurring under high pressure and high temperature condition, these phases of metamorphism usually occurring at the subduction zones of plate margins, and the important characteristic mineral that represent these eclogite phases of metamorphism are pyrope, garnet and omphacite. So, these are the important types of regional metamorphism, phases of regional metamorphism, that include zeolite, prehnite pumpelite, green schist, amphibolite, blue schist, granulite and eclogite phases of metamorphism. Now, we can see the diagram, the figure which represents these phases. Now, in this diagram we can see that all the contact metamorphism we have already seen it. Now, we can look into the regional metamorphism. The first one is the zeolite phases. As you can see, the temperature of zeolite phases is around 0 to 250 degrees Celsius and the pressure is almost as 4 kilobars. Now, in between the zeolite and the green schist phases, we can see the transitional phases, that is prehnite pumpelite phases. Then the green schist phases, which is characterized by the green color minerals. Then we move up to the medium grade of metamorphism, that is represented by the amphibolite phases of metamorphism. On the left hand portion we can see the blue schist phases, which typically represents high pressure conditions. Then the right hand side, as the temperature increases and the pressure is almost at a medium, we will come into contact with the granulate phases of metamorphism, that is representing the high grade metamorphism. Then above that, the deep seated conditions have been represented by the eclogite phases of phases represented by pyrope, omphacite and garnet type of minerals. So, these are the important type of metamorphic phases which is associated with the contact metamorphism as well as with the regional metamorphism. So, we can conclude that in a manner that we have seen the grades of metamorphism and the metamorphic phases, and the grade typically indicates the degrees of metamorphism, and each grade has been identified on the basis of typical index minerals, and the index minerals have been separated by each grade has been separated by isogrades. Then we have seen the phases. The phases represents a group of minerals that is associated with the different grades, and we have seen the important type of phases like contact metamorphic phases, and we have seen the phases associated with the regional metamorphism. So, the studies about these phases will easily help us to identify the pressure temperature conditions and the tectonism regarding the origin of these metamorphic rocks. Thank you.